Billy Hein, owner of Locomotive Custom Apparel. We do screen printed and embroidered shirts, hats, polos, sweatshirts, pretty much anything you can wear. Also towels, visors, just trying to think of some of the other things. But we serve a lot of local businesses such as restaurants and landscapers, and we'll do the apparel for the employees and the owners. We do a lot of special events such as 5Ks or golf tournaments. We also just recently expanded to advertising specialties. So we do canned coolies, whistles, cigarette lighters with your logo on there, portable hard drives, pretty much anything that you can put a logo on, we can order through one of our distributors. A little bit about myself. I was a graduate of the University of Delaware with a degree in consumer economics. After college, I moved to the beach. My parents always had a summer place down in the Wilmette area. So right after college, I moved there. I got a job at Caldwell Banker doing real estate, and it really wasn't my thing. I didn't like showing houses at nights and weekends. That's when I wanted to be fishing. So I got another job at building supply in Marva, neighbor in Georgetown. And we're selling doors, windows, trim, all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's where I got my sales background for what I'm involved in now. I guess around 2008 we started to experience like the economic downturn and the housing market bust. So I was working on a salary and commission basis. I kind of knew I had to find something else to do. Saw the writing on the wall that I'd probably lose my job or something like that. I got promoted to sales manager at the time, and usually they're the first guys to go. So I had a good family friend. His name was Jeff Vernon, who owned Locomotive. He started it in 1990, and he was a local artist. Did real good artwork with like caricatures, a lot of logo design, and did the screen printing as well. So I spoke with him. He wanted to get out of it, wanted to retire. I was looking to get into a business, like pretty much anything I could find. I'd come in from work every night. I'd search online for franchise opportunities, looking to guide for business opportunities, businesses for sale. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Just wanted to do something. And I don't have a background in art. I can't draw but a stick figure. Not even good on computers, which a lot of this work's done on computers. But I said, what the heck, I'll try it. I could work hard. So I told my boss what I was looking to do, and he was pretty happy that I was looking for something else. I guess because he knew the writing was on the wall for me as well. And I made a deal with him that I would still continue to work for him and sell building supplies on the side just as a commission basis. So it worked great for him. He got to cut a salary. He only had to pay me if I sold something. And it kind of gave me the funds to make this work. The business didn't have a high sales volume. It wasn't enough to support me living the way that I wanted to. But between that and the building supply company, I was able to get by. So that was 2008. So I purchased the business, I guess it was in April. Not long after that, I heard from the landlord that they were going to tear down the shopping center. We were at 5 Points in Lewis. They were going to tear the shopping center down and build a Walgreens. So I had to find a new space. So I started looking up and down Route 1 and the surrounding areas, and started looking at rental prices. And I had a really sweet deal. I mean, it was 1,500 or 1,800 square feet for $450 a month, which you'll never find that anywhere. So I'm looking on Route 1, and 1,000 feet's $2,000 a month, and the business isn't that profitable at all, and that would have left me nothing. So every day I drove past a little house that was for sale on Route 24, and I said, I could put the business there. There's a lot of exposure on this highway. It's close enough to Route 1. My customers will still be happy. They won't have to drive that far. So So I talked to the realtor that actually worked for, the broker, and we ended up putting in an offer on the house, got the house, but it was a residential home, and I'm going to run a business out of it. So I applied to county council and planning and zoning to get a change of zoning to conditional use, and I was granted that. That was a one-year process, but the whole time I was in the building, actually running the business out of it without the proper permits to do it. So if I didn't get that change of zoning, I would have been back to looking out on Route 1 for an expensive place. So I crossed my fingers and I got lucky and got the change of zoning. So we moved in there, I think it was December of 2008. The next winter would have been 2009, which was a horrible winter. I think I spent all the savings I had just trying to keep things going. We're at a tourist area. Not many people buy t-shirts in the summer. The economy was doing bad, so what money they did have, they didn't want to spend on shirts or apparel for their guys. They were just trying to make payroll. So I joined a lot of B&I groups, chambers of commerces, and spoke with people and just kept trying to sell and sell and sell. Well, spring came around and we just got crazy busy. It was really good. It was just in the right time to bail us out. At that time, I had one employee. I was trying to do all the work myself as far as the printing end. The employee that I had was a graphic designer. She would do all the artwork. And she was really good. She worked hard, helped us get through the tough times. I hired a guy. He was part-time, working 25 to 30 hours a week. Really nice guy. If there was something that needed to get done, he would get it done. So between the two of us, we were doing all the print work. So that was my first employee that I hired. When I bought the business, it came with an employee. So at that time, we were doing the screen printing and sending all of our embroidery work out. We had a subcontractor that was doing work out of her home, and she had a few embroidery machines. She wanted to get out of the business, so in 2010, I purchased her business and brought it in-house. It worked out pretty well because we were actually her largest customer, and she had all the logos that were our customers on file, which just made it a really easy transition for us. So we purchased that. Within the 1 year, we kind of doubled the output of that business. We had also doubled the output of the screen printing business. Which I guess I'm running out of time. It kind of brings me to where I am now. I have 6 employees. I purchased a lot in Rehoboth, and again, it was a residential lot. I got the zoning changed to commercial. That was about a year process. Then I hired architects and engineers to design a building and the property, and I'm going to build a 5,500 square foot warehouse. And to get all the approvals from the counties, the fire marshals, soil water conservation, that was a whole nother year, and I just finally got permits yesterday. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Great. At this time, we're going to take some questions and answers. Questions from you, answers from Billy, or any comments. There are any questions? One of the questions that I had, Billy, for you was, I know you were just at the end briefly talking about how you're going to this new building, you said 5,500 square feet. What's happened in the last 3 years for you to be able to get to that point? I mean, you're on this little house on Route 24, and now you're going to this great big building, and something heard about that.
Yeah, the first year that I purchased the business, I bought it at the end of April, so I had it for a little, I guess right around 8 months or so. And that first year, I did more business than the business did in any of its previous best years for a whole year. The second year, our sales doubled. And right now, we're probably doing 7 times as much as we did in 2008. As far as like the screen printing equipment, I basically had 2 presses and 2 dryers, and now I have 3 presses and 3 dryers running. So that easily doubled my output as far as that goes. But also when I first started, I I was selling the building supplies and maybe only, I was doing all the printing myself and maybe only spending 30 hours a week actually printing shirts. And now between the guys, there's probably somewhere around 100 man hours printing shirts. Plus we have some better equipment that's more efficient and faster. Bringing on the embroidery business definitely helped expand it. We were able to kind of double our output as far as embroidery goes with that.
Your customer base, is it just the Eastern Shore or you do online?
We have just this little basic website I had a buddy design. Most of our stuff is local. I do some shirts because I have friends that come to the beaches for the summer and weekends that have businesses in Pennsylvania. So we're doing a lot of stuff for them. They'll come by, they drive past us on Route 24, going to their places. They'll order shirts, tax free, take them back up to Pennsylvania. So we've grown into there pretty good, and then they tell a friend that tells a friend, and then before you know it, that guy's picking up shirts for his buddies that are up there and taking them up. When I sold building supplies, I sold to a guy that was a developer, did a lot of developing here, and he closed up shop here, went to Costa Rica, bought a marina, a boat building business, and started building boats down there and bought 5 charter boats. So last winter we started doing shirts for him and actually shipping them to Costa Rica. And that was kind of a weird process. You ship them to Miami, and then they have to get on a special cargo ship before they could get sent to Costa Rica. So I thought that was kind of neat. I never expected to do shirts and send them to Costa Rica. You kind of expect it the other way. But we were able to compete price-wise and make it work with that. But as far as like the website and internet business, it's not much there. It's more like a place that somebody Googles locomotive or yoga that they can find me. But a lot of the business has been word of mouth. And, most people in other businesses will tell you that is a key way.
Congratulations. Can you identify 3 challenging things that have taken you along this trip?
I guess one of the first challenges was like when to hire somebody. And basically the way I did it was if I got to the point where I was working 70 or 80 hours a week, then I knew I could bring someone on, and then they would take 40 of my hours, hopefully. So that's the real scary part is hiring somebody, because I'm not a big fan of hiring somebody and then getting slow and then you lay them off or you're not giving them 40 hours or something like that. I think it's a big commitment to actually hire somebody. And I guess one of the other challenges would be like, what I've been through with as far as zoning changes and stuff like that to where I've moved and the current location, trying to build it and actually getting through all the government agencies that you have to go through to get approvals. It took me 1 whole year to get building permits on the property. And I just never expected that, going through DelDOTs and fire marshals and all that, it would bounce back. With one agency would make a change on your prints, and then that would affect the other one, and need to go back there, get adjusted, and then go back through 3 more steps. I guess that's 2. Other challenge would be, I guess the other challenge is like when to purchase equipment and how to do it. And I kind of guess I worked that basically the same way as I did with hiring an employee. When I figured all the equipment was maxed out, then I would purchase something else, to kind of give it some relief.
Did you seek any resourceful help, economic assistance to help you with this plan?
No, I didn't really.
POA, what was your plan of action?
I didn't.
You worked at the supply store, Delaware Supply. You knew you wanted to do something, and you were not a salesman. But that's not what I'm hearing the salesman.
Yeah, like I guess that's where I got my sales experience was from the building supply company. And I enjoyed that. I was in a truck and I went and visited builders and sold them stuff. And I guess the biggest thing with that was to create a relationship with them. They wound up becoming your friends. In a sense, you could talk about things outside of work, and that made it easy to actually sell them something. So I learned a lot there. And then the boss that I worked for, he was a good friend of mine, Ethan Rhodes. And kind of one of his things was that he focused on the customer's always right, you know, and if there was a problem and you're trying to figure out whether the sales guy messed up or the builder messed up on the product that they ordered, he would always sweat on the side of making the customer happy, even if it was at his expense. But he was real aggressive and never really lost a customer. He always maintained the customers that he had. There's not many people that went away from him being upset that they had a bad experience. And that's kind of like what I try to do here. My guys mess up on shirts, you know, we print something wrong, but you always try to do whatever's right to make the customer happy. And luckily it happens few enough times that it doesn't become like an economic burden or anything on me. You know, you can kind of go through it.
Are there any other questions?
Good morning. Well, we're glad that you're here. We have some students in the audience that are just learning about entrepreneurship. I've tried to encourage them to get involved. And a few minutes ago, you shared with us that you decided to get involved with organizations to promote your business. Could you elaborate on that just a little bit, please?
Yeah, I had like a lot of friends that were actually one of my best friends. He was a sign company, and we both worked at the building supply company together. He purchased Arena Signs probably a year before I did, and he got involved in these B&Is, and I would go with him as guest. At first I never really liked them because you kind of sat there and, you know, people talked and all that. And me, I'd rather just go to work at work. I just wanted the work to be there. I'll print the shirts, give them a box, get them out the door, and give you a bill. And so I never really liked them, but then I realized like that winter when it got really bad, that they were useful tools. First I joined Rehoboth Dewey Chamber of Commerce, and I started doing like the Seawood shirts for them with that, and the Sandcastle, so a lot of their events. And it was just really good. You know, you meet other businesses when you're in a group like that. You learn to share. Like if there's an HVAC guy and your heater breaks, that's the guy you call. And when he needs T-shirts, he calls you, and you work together in that sense. And even like now, I'm not a member of a B&I or anything, but occasionally I'll go with friends when they invite me as a guest. But even with my own business, like I always use the HVAC guy to buy shirts from me. The guy that cuts my grass gets shirts from me. The cleaning services get shirts from me. And I even found that like I never thought I would have a cleaner or a grass cutter, but I just wanted to give back to the people that were like supporting me, and that's kind of how that came about. So kind of in my own business, it's like a networking thing. A lot of us work together, and I give referrals to people that come in when they're looking for an HVAC guy. I'll refer the guy that, you know, buys a lot of shirts, or, you know, the people that come in a lot, and I've heard good things about.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Right now, we just have 3 single-head embroidery machines, which isn't very large. And, but we managed to pump out a good bit of work with it. There's 2 machines that I'm looking to purchase right now. The space that I'm in, it's a residential home with an attached single-car garage. So I have 1,000 feet in the house. The garage is, I think, 24 by 28 or something like that. That's where a printing press is. The back porch I had filled up with storage. So right now I don't have any more room to do anything. I actually purchased a shed last year and put it in the backyard. I have a press and a dryer set up in that. So I currently don't have the space for any more embroidery machines. I really need them. So as soon as I get the new building, I do plan on purchasing more.
I'm interested in the design services. How do you cost out design services, and what ties to that product do you have as far as printing and embroidery, what you do as far as design services?
Design services are something really tough to get paid for. People don't like to spend money for artwork. They feel like it should just be free. Kind of the going rate on the streets, $65 an hour for artwork. We try to get that if we're really just designing a logo for someone and giving them a disc with a bunch of different formats. A lot of our artwork that we do that actually wind up on a t-shirt, I'll do that kind of free just to get the job. And I just kind of found that's easier. Maybe if you roll the cost of artwork into making the t-shirt a little more expensive, rather than giving them a separate bill and saying that that was $300 worth of artwork. They just, customers don't like to pay it. But I have 2 graphic designers in-house. I have another guy that works for me that can do some simpler design work, and I use a lot of local artists to sub some things out. If I needed a t-shirt done with some fish on the back, I have a guy that's a fish artist. Another guy that does caricatures, or smelling something cartoonish, I'll get that guy to do the artwork. And those I really have to make sure I charge for because I have to pay for it through my subs. But in that sense, somebody really understands they're getting something really, really custom, and they're fine with paying for it.
I was always concerned with the design work at $65 an hour, and once completed, then they would shop it.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Like you'll invest time in design and artwork, and somebody else gets to print the t-shirt. So a lot of times, if we are going to really do like design, we try to get a deposit up front, so at least we are compensated for some of our time. Mostly, it's at a loss. Designing a logo takes a ton of time. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to pick a logo for your own businesses. It's really hard to speaking with someone else, for them to see the vision that you have for your logo and what you actually want. And sometimes you nail it, and the girls can get it done in a half hour. Other times it drags on for a year. And when it drags on for a year, you just can't ever get compensated for what it is. The only guy that can do that is like a lawyer. Yeah, they'll charge for every minute they work on something. But in our work, I find that that's really tough.
What can we do as a community to help support you?
I guess if you guys know anybody that's looking for shirts or apparel, send them my way. That would be the easiest thing. Or if you see shirts for sale somewhere, maybe ask the person where they get them and say, hey, check this guy out. He might be able to help you out.